What's up? It's your boy Pete to the A, and today we're making grilled lamb. Let's get it going. Alright, so today we're going to make a rack of lamb, and this is going to be on a cast iron grill. If you don't have it, you can use a cast iron skillet. The first thing I'm going to do is going to give this a little dry rub with a little bit of cumin, some onion powder, some garlic, a little bit of paprika, and I want to add a little bit of herbs like a little bit of thyme and a little bit of marjoram. Whatever you have for herbs you can add. You don't have to add too much. Make sure you're generous with the black pepper. That's really going to add a nice taste to it. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil to this. Go ahead and rub all that into the lamb chop and let it sit for a little bit. While we let the lamb sit there and get marinated with all those ingredients, we're going to go ahead and work on our side dish, which is basically going to be steamed carrots. So we'll go ahead and take our carrots. We're going to peel them, put them in a pot with water, a little bit of salt, and cover it. Now notice I don't have the carrots sitting directly on the water. We want to steam these carrots and not really cook them in the water, so it's going to be a nice sweet flavor once it's done steaming. While we do all of this, the lamb can just sit there and marinate with all those flavors. While the lamb just sits there, we're going to make a quick Bordelaise sauce, and this Bordelaise is going to consist of butter and then your choice of either port wine or a nice red wine. For this I chose a port wine because I think it's going to enhance the flavor, and then to this I simply just add a bone marrow packet, and you can add bone marrow or beef broth, but this bone marrow packet here gives a nice flavor. Bone marrow really enhances the sauce. You're going to go ahead and bring it to a boil and then just let it sit there until it thickens up a little bit more over low heat. Check your carrots and make sure you're not over steaming them. If you are, just go ahead and remove them from the fire and let them sit there. Alright, so now that we have our carrots steaming and we have our Bordelaise just sitting there over low heat, it's time to go ahead and grill these lamb chops. Now I'm grilling this over a cast iron grill, which is nice and seasoned, so it's going to add even to the flavor. But if you don't have a cast iron grill, you can just use a cast iron skillet. It's the same thing. What I should have done here initially is I should have put a little bit more oil on the cast iron grill, but that's okay. As I flip this, you can see that you got to be careful not to burn your seasoning, so I should have probably flipped this a little bit earlier. But the key here is to make sure you give it a nice char on the outside, and then you cook the inside, and you also cook it evenly. See this part right here? You're going to have to flip it like I just did here, and flip it all around, cook it all around, sear the meat, and then we're going to go ahead and check the internal temperature. Some of this fat that's coming off, I'm going to go ahead and take it and just add it to the sauce that by now has thickened a lot and it's reduced. I also have turned down the heat on the grill and added aluminum foil so that way it can cook the inside since it's now seared. So here we get to a very critical point on cooking this lamb. You want to make sure that your internal temperature doesn't go above the 125 mark. You want to stay at 120 to 125 because once we take this off the grill, we're going to let it sit there, and once it sits there, it's going to cook a little bit. And you want to aim for a medium rare to a medium temperature inside the lamb. If you overcook it, it's just not going to taste as good. It's probably going to be a little bit gamey. So with that said, what we're going to do now is we're going to plate this, have some couscous, instant couscous that I did, and we're going to spoon some of that sauce over it. We're going to go ahead and add our steamed carrots to it, and here you have a complete meal, and it's just a beautiful thing. As I open it up, you can see that's a nice color. It was really juicy inside, and to be honest with you, it was one of the best lambs that I had in a while, even compared to the restaurants. And it's really simple and easy to do if you follow these directions. Again, you want an internal temperature of 120 to 125. Sear the lamb. Once it's seared, turn down the heat. Go ahead and put aluminum foil over it, and just cook it until that internal temperature hits either 120 or 125. In this case, I stopped at 125. Thank you for watching. If this has been helpful, you enjoyed this video, subscribe, put a like, leave a comment. We'll see you on the next one.